Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Ultimate X issue number 1. Now, as you know, Ultimate X was a 5-part series that was meant to take place before Ultimate Comics X-Men. And this comic is meant to be the first appearance of Jimmy Hudson, who is the son of Wolverine, and keep in mind, in Ultimatum, Wolverine died while facing Magneto. And the cover has Jimmy in his sort of hoodie and that, while other people look at him. And it starts off how Jimmy is basically going to do a drag race, and basically goes against a guy called Chaz, and says, "What's the matter, Chaz? You're in a hurry to lose? Ready? 1." And then they start the race. And of course, they basically start to tail it. But of course, Jimmy loses control of his vehicle, ends up flying off, crashing in his vehicle, which ends up with a fire explosion. And his girlfriend trying to look for him, who says, "Tammy, I don't feel so good." And she finds out to her shock that he's a mutant, and quickly runs off, with Jimmy being a bit confused. And you've got Jimmy's father, who's meant to be the ultimate version of the Guardian, but unlike his main Marvel counterpart, never became the Guardian, and his wife never became Vindicator. So of course his dad takes him back, and quickly leaves the scene. We're shown at their sort of trailer house, where his mum says, "I know what they say about him, that he was born bad. You don't actually listen to that nonsense." And you can kind of tell what she's trying to say is, yeah, he's the fights in school, his bad grades, he'd probably be in jail and that. But you can kind of tell that she is worried about him and does care about him. And you can kind of tell Jimmy is just looking at the stars, thinking about, about his new abilities. So of course he ends up woken up and meets Kitty Pryde, who wants to meet Jimmy. So of course he takes her to the houseboat, where him and his dad were working on it way before the ultimatum struck. And Kitty Pryde gives him a box that belonged to his father. And keep in mind, back in Ultimatum, Wolverine gave Kitty Pryde the box before he went to confront Magneto. So of course it's mainly belongings like dog tags, the Times Week when they posed for the magazine, a lock of Jean Grey's hair, and he sees the recording of Wolverine. And Wolverine tells him that, if I'm dead, it didn't go for nothing, and that, that he hasn't regretted having him for a second, and also the fact that the world needs heroes again. And of course, Jimmy takes this hard, saying that he knew, but Kitty Pryde tells him that they need to band together to try and keep mutants alive. And even wants to ask him if he has his powers. So we find out, after testing them, that he has Wolverine's retractable claws. And of course, the pain does go, and he finds out that that he has the ability to coat them in metal, and asks if she's seen this before, which he did say there was a mutant called Colossus who could do this, so reckon so. And so finds out that he's the son of Wolverine. And finds out that the claws can disappear by invisibility. So, of course, Jimmy's parents show up, and his mum berates Kitty Pryde for having no right to interfere with their lives. But Kitty Pryde knows that what happened was meant to happen, and that Wolverine was his father, and that he did love his son. So we kind of see how at the end of it, Jimmy's father and him talk, but knows that he has to let him go and not turn him in. And this is like him knowing that even though he's a mutant, he still loves him all the same. And he does say, I guess this means we're not sailing our boat around the world. And this is the story. So issue 1 isn't too bad. I think it gives you this glimpse of who Jimmy is, and you're welcomed into a new chapter that carries on the Wolverine legacy. But I think if you had more time at Jimmy at school, or kind of his life beforehand, it would have given more time for his character before knowing the truth. But it's still a good issue, so I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.